Hi and welcome to today, and the Creating in Faith, the faith to be creative, that you can be creative, and the journal page for this week. So, if you've just got here, I've done this kind of 2 hours worth of video of me making this journal. And it's made out of scrap cards and, well, cards that I've had for a while and never got around to using. And next month's video in terms of making will not be as long. So, on to this one. So today, the word for today is compassionate. And it's for you to either decide to use that word and work it into your journal page, or to ponder on that word maybe, or journal about it. So for today's video, what I'm going to be doing is sharing with you some of the pages. I'll share with you the pages and briefly how they were made, and I'll do just a simple preparation of this page. And I thought I would use my favourite supplies, which are these Neo colours. So whatever your favourite supplies are, you know, you can decide to do that on your page, or work on it how you feel, how you're feeling today. That was just my feeling. So I want to just share with you last week's page. This is what I did for last week's page. You'd seen me decorate it, and by the time we'd finished the video, I just left it blank. And so what I've done is then gone back and used one of my days to create, just to write. I just wanted to write on this page and just used the sections that kind of appeared and just wrote in those. Yeah? Okay, so let's go through some of the pages first, and I'll just kind of share with you some of the techniques I've used. So on this page, which is the first one you open, what I had decided was to create a little kind of pocket, and this has been made with not sequin waste, this is sequin waste, and I use this as a stencil. So I made my own, punched out these holes, and then I had been using it as a stencil, and I've just decided to add it in here. On this page here, I've just done some doodlings with pens, and I've come in with an alcohol marker and then just added in some of the shapes. Now, I'm showing you this because these are, it doesn't have to be a complete page, it doesn't have to be a finished page, because then you can come back, if you came back and, or I came back, and I just felt like, do you know what, I'm just gonna add some more colour. And this is just a relaxing activity that I can just, you know, just be mindful, just be reflective, just think, maybe thinking about a page that I'd already done, or thinking about, I don't know why my voice is so deep, first thing in the morning, eh? So yeah, just use it as a page like that. So I think it's a good idea to have pages where you can do that, and also get you out of thinking that a page has to be totally complete before you can move on. It's really giving yourself the flexibility and the flexibility to be able to say, look, okay, I finished this for now, and I can come back, and not be afraid to do that. I used to be very afraid to, not very afraid. I just thought, but all artists complete their work in one sitting, and it's just like, it's not true. You can't always do that, and so that's something that I now insist in my journals, I always have pages that are not complete, and that's probably one of the reasons why I also have pages that what I'll do is just go through it and lay down colour, lay down colour, or lay down something so that I can come back. Okay, so this is another page like that. I've done some collage, and I will share with you probably next week the video to this one, and you can see how it came together. And it's literally just a blank page that I choose my favourite scraps and combine them together. Again, this is an example of just laying down colour, and I had these tags that I've just had for the longest sitting there, so I decided to add them. This particular card was one of those fold-out cards. Normally what you would do is it's got this hole, there's this is just stuck on, but it's got a hole there, and what you usually do is you put, like I've done here, not necessarily one with a pocket, but you put one so that the image comes out here, and then you glue that down, and then you've got the card. So I've just decided to put a backing semi-pocket here, and then I can still do, this is a list of encouraging words: independent, kindness, forgiveness, loyalty, attentiveness, change, glory, rejoice, unity, words. And again, as you can see throughout, I'm just laying down colour. And laying down colour and playing and thinking, oh, this is a tag, why didn't I do something with it? I can again come back and write on it. These are just, again, it can have an encouraging word and then sit here, but I thought I would just leave these here for now, so that when I come back another day I can do something with. Again, I'd lay down colour, and then I had a container with paint where the top had broken off and it started to dry out. So what I wanted to do was just lay down lightly. This is I really do like this colour, but I didn't want to cover up this page, so I just laid, you know, a very light layer of this blue, and I think you get the idea. So again, tags, so nothing, then everything becomes, oh my gosh, I could use this to do that, and oh look, looks quite thick card. So I want you to start thinking about the things that you come across in a creative way, and this is just really the start of it, to kind of like look at something and think, actually, do you know what, I can use this card. This particular card is a series of cards that I got from the printers. I probably told you this already, and I just went in and said, have you got any recycled stuff for recycling that I can have? And they gave me whole wads of this. It wasn't enough, it was too much to carry, so I had to have my car, and I just brought it home, and I've been using it ever since. So again, these cards come in handy. Sometimes I write notes on them, or I make mini books. I've got it here. I make mini books, or yeah, or again, it's a tab, an old wish you a Merry Christmas card. That these cards, I found they were too thin to be used as cards that maybe that you would send, but not that you would like, oh, this is my new batch of cards. So yeah, this is just like a tab. I will probably put an image or create an image on here, maybe a collage. Although I'm thinking about the collages because it's getting quite chunky. I don't want it chunkier than this, so this may not have any more collage unless it's, say, I don't know, tissue paper or something. So there we go. So yeah, generally throughout the pages I just went through, I had a little bag of these tags, and I thought, do you know what, I'm going to just use them all out on here and just put them all in here and then come back at another time. So again, more little tabs, and you get the idea. This was going to be an ATC, and then this is just scraps of card, but it was really nice card that I thought, okay, I could then use this as a page where I could write on in between, and it's got the colour in the background. Again, one of my favourite colours. When I did the page last week, I was using the excess paint and putting it on here, so now I've got another page that's ready to have something on. So so we're going to get started. As I said, I didn't want this to be too long. So not every page I start with. Let me just put this in here. Not every page I made this. This was made out of cereal box, and I couldn't decide. I like both sides, so I was going to just make it into a tag. That's why it's just sitting loose. It's going to sit loose in there. There we go. Okay, we're going to do this page. So, oh, another thing. Don't leave your brushes. Sort out your brushes after you've used them. I've got this. Make sure there's no mosquitoes in there. I've got this little container that I've been using, and the brushes have not been kept very well. I'm going to have to treat them. Don't leave your brushes. It doesn't need to be in there now. Don't leave your brushes in standing water with painting. Okay, let's get going. So I'm just gonna, this is just a play page, so again, this is how I would start creating backgrounds, and I'd come back to this page. I'll probably show you the page next week. You can see the page next week once it's going to be dry and complete. So these are my Neo colours, my favourites, and as they're my favourites, you can probably guess that they don't get used that often, because it was just like, yeah, no, I'm going to keep it for best, and then you're not using it. So you've got to start, you know, you might have some supplies that you think, okay, yeah, you know, these cost me so much, but use them on yourself. You know, don't just save them for, you know, well, if I get a commission, I'll use it on that, or, you know, you can use your good supplies on things that you like doing, and I think you should every now and again. Now, I mean, I've got, where are they? It's these are my Reeves. Now, these are cheap, but actually some of them have got quite a lot of pigment in. They're water soluble crayons, so I would mostly use these in my, you know, journaling from day to day, but every now and again, as I say, I use, you know, my favourite supplies, why not? So I'm going to just lay down colour on this for now, and the way I normally do that is, again, and I use it as a time for, you know, reflection. So I'm just lining them up, seeing the colours, because I've not used them for a long time. So I just really want to see what the colours are like again, and if I had any favourite colours, and I'm just picking them up one by one, as you can see, and then just adding them to the page. Nothing complicated about that. But it's to remind yourself that, you know, you have to spend time on you. And I think, I was just thinking about these sessions really, that they're probably more about you developing yourself in the sense of, you know, how you treat yourself as an artist. And it is about showing you how, I think essentially when we take part in a creative activity, and it doesn't matter what it is, but it has an effect on our health and well-being. Like, art can be very calming. This particular activity can be, it's just so soothing, and it's allowing you, you're allowing yourself to play and not take it too seriously. Not, I've got to complete this landscape, or I'm going to start at the other end with this colour. This is one of my favourite, oh, I'm whispering, this is one of my favourite colours. And I think, yeah, so allowing you to spend time playing. You know, I do have other videos that may show you techniques and stuff like that. So this one will be more about reflection, about, you know, having a little discussion. And I guess that fits in with the theme for this week about being compassionate, or compassionate, and it's about being compassionate to yourself. How do you treat yourself? You know, are you always so hard on yourself that you know, the only one that's being hard on yourself is you, and other people will respond to you the way that you treat yourself. So if you're treating yourself badly, and then, or you're always, you know, somebody gives you a compliment and you're saying, like the amount of people who, and I've probably done it myself, but it's kind of stopped, like they'll say, oh, that's a beautiful dress, and they'll say, this old thing, gosh, I've had it for over 20 years, rather than just say thank you. It's just like, I never asked you how long you've had it, but I was just admiring the beauty in it, so just say thank you, just accept it. So, you know, accept that as a creative, as an artist, whether you call yourself an artist or not, as an artist, that you, I'm going to have to do that on a different page. They're quite silky, these pages. Actually, I'm just going to do it. So I'm turning this book this way now. No, I was going to turn it that way, it's just easier. And then once I've activated it, I'm just going to put the residue on another page or another journal. Let's see if we got another. It's not on my table. Yeah, I'm just going to do it on this. Just got this. Just have that beside me. My water. And so whenever I get any excess off, I'm just going to add it to the other page. Normally I would add it to the journal that I'm working in, but because I'm going to have to do something with some of the pages, what I normally do is go for all the lighter colours and the oranges, and then just work my way. Not a lot's coming off. It's because of the kind of brush I'm using. Okay, yeah. So, you know, allow yourself that time to play. And be kinder to yourself. Don't be so hard on yourself. And there's that saying, love others as you love yourself. So treat others as you would like to be treated. Treat yourself as you would like to be treated. Because we can have an idea of how we'd like to be treated, but we don't treat ourselves that way. We're hard on ourselves, we're critical of ourselves, and so it's about just going softer. More water on here. Yeah, just being a bit softer, easing up on yourself. You can still have high expectations, but celebrate the things that you accomplish. Celebrate everything. I'm just going to start going down now. This is such a beautiful blue. So, the dog went out last night. He's found a way of jumping over the fence. I just thought he was out in the little yard that we've got, not out in the main garden. So he's found a way of jumping over and getting back without me knowing that he had gone. And it was only because I normally sit outside in the evening, just, it's like feeling the breeze, and again, just my way of being loving to myself. It's just like, spending that time. You have the space, you've got a chair, and you've got the breeze, and I would come out with some water and just sit there and listen to the nightlife, the crickets that seem to have gathered around the place. They make a lot of noise. And the singing frogs. And I noticed that he wasn't in the garden. I was just like, where's he gone? So he'd run off. There's some wayward dogs that every night you see them walking past the house, like when you're looking down the drive, you see them walking past the house, heading somewhere, like they're heading to a disco or something. And I think he's kind of got up with them, because he was just gone. He was gone for at least half an hour. And then when he came back, he was really thirsty. And I was just like, what is going on? So I realised that, he'd been escaping. So anyway, he came back, and he made a really loud clanging last night, because his water bowl, it must have been dry. So when I opened the door, because it was just like, where have you been? Both of his eyes were swollen, like he'd been in a fight. But he'd been in a fight with a toad. I've seen it before, because in our garden we sometimes have toads. And he would try and, I don't know whether he was trying to bite it or, slap it or whatever, but he got off the worst. And he usually ends up with a swollen eye because they release some sort of chemical. And he came back in, both of his eyes were swollen. I thought to myself, if you had been outside of the main garden, I don't know how you would have got home, because you wouldn't have been able to see. So anyway, he wouldn't let me, I tried to, get a tissue just to kind of wipe it, but he wouldn't let me. So I was just like, okay, stay there then, you need to just go and lie down. So he went and lay down, and this morning only one eye is slightly swollen, the other eye seems okay. But it was just like, what are you troubling these toads for? Just let them get on with their thing. They'll get on with their thing, and you get on with your thing. But I guess his thing that's the being the dog in him. So, as you can see, just this activity can be quite soothing. I feel soothed, and what this has allowed me to do is, you know, see the colours again that I haven't used for such a long time, and see how they all, how it blends, how it sits on the paper. I mean, I could always do it again with, you know, a different like type of watercolour paper. But for the rest of the week I can, you know, I can come back and play with this, and I will, and I'll show you it at the beginning of next week's video. I was kind of trying to find my flow, because, yeah, you know, this is a new thing for me. I mean, I do art journal pages, but combining it with my Creating in Faith podcast episode that comes out on Mondays, I want them to sync, so you get the episode and you also get the art journal, and I think I'm kind of getting there. So this is the page where I've spent my time, and I've just used materials that I really like, that are some of my favourite. And as I say, I've had these for, they look like new practically. I've had them for at least 15 years, and you know, I haven't used them as often enough. I mean, I've got other supplies that I use, but these are one of my favourites, because I like the way it sits on the page when you're coming back and working on it. It's not as waxy as the Reeves, the cheaper ones that I showed you. And then this is just the start of, that actually looks quite pretty and delicate. This is the start of the other page I was just, you know, rubbing the brush off. So yeah, I want you to find supplies that you really like and maybe use those in your journal today. And, you know, over the week, think about the word compassionate and think about how that relates to you and how you treat yourself. And I look forward to hearing from you. Remember to use your journal, the one that you've made for this month. Use it, and, you know, put ideas in it, put other things, and, you know, have fun in it. Okay, so take care for now, and I will see you in this particular journal next week. I do have other videos that I post on the channel, so, you know, do have a look at those. I hope you've subscribed, and yeah, have some fun. Take care for now.